No two humans are alike. Even identical twins have their own subtle differences. Thanks to genetics, these biological differences can lead to some human mutations that can be quite rare. You'd be surprised with the amount of genetic mutations are out there, and on today's list, we're going to be exploring some of them. Well, how's it going, YouTube? I'm your host for this one, Landon Dallas, and welcome back to another most amazing top 10 video. Before we get started, be sure to like this video and subscribe so that way you'll never miss a video from us. Alright, let's get right into this one. This is the top 10 scary human mutations you won't believe. And just letting you guys know, we have a brand new channel I am super excited to share with you guys. It's called Top 10 Central. The video is launching very soon. Make sure you guys click right over here to go check it out right now. There are already thousands of you subscribing to the channel, which is unbelievable. The first video comes out very soon, and yes, I'm hosting it, and I'm gonna announce right now the other host on the channel is gonna be Eamon, and we're gonna have other really big hosts as well on the channel, so I'm super excited. Starting off this list, and at number 10 we have LRP5 mutation. Back in 1994, scientists discovered a genetic mutation known as LRP5. This is a gene that regulates the production and release of protein, which means your body could produce more protein into your bones or less protein into your bones. It plays a major role in your bone density. Well, this mutation was discovered when a man was in a serious car crash, but after he got x-rays, there didn't seem to be any fractures or broken bones when there should have been. Because of the LRP5 mutation, this man's bones were actually 8 times more dense than the average person. Also, it has been discovered that this has been genetically found in this guy's family tree. Like, his family members have this condition. This man has family members who was unable to get a hip surgery because doctors were unable to screw anything into the bones. And at number 9 we have the MFS syndrome, which is the Marfan syndrome. It is a genetic disorder that affects the connective tissues in your body. It actually affects people differently. People who have this syndrome typically have very flexible joints, but it also comes with scoliosis, serious complications involving the heart and aorta, and it also can affect the lungs, eyes, bones, and covering of the spinal cord. 25% of this condition is inherited from a parent, while 25% of the time it is a new mutation. Right now there is no known cure for Marfan syndrome, but there are treatments that help prolong life. Before preventative treatments, the average lifespan was between about 30 and 40 years old, and now people with this condition can have a normal life expectancy. Next up, number 8, we have epidermal dysplasia verticornis, which is otherwise known as tree man syndrome. Well, it is a very rare autoimmune recessive hereditary skin disorder that is actually associated with skin cancer.
2, 3, 4, 5, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the thumb. It should be the thumb, and some of the tip of the finger on the surface. I can see that.
This is a very debilitating human mutation that is extremely rare that results in uncontrolled HPV infections that result in the growth of what looks like a very scaly bark, from a tree. There are no treatments for this because it's so rare and it doesn't affect enough people, to get funding behind it. There's only a handful of people in the world with this very rare condition. Moving into number 7, we have Proteus syndrome, which is a very rare condition that causes human bones, skin, and other tissues to overgrow. This syndrome is also known as the elephant man syndrome. Yeah, a lot of you guys probably heard of it. There have just been over 200 cases of the syndrome worldwide in history, and saying that right now, it's estimated that just 120 people with that condition are still alive. With almost 8 billion people in the world, that is extremely rare. In 2011, researchers were able to determine the cause of the Proteus syndrome. Patients with this condition have a mutation in there. Well, the mutation is the AKT1 gene. Is pretty much a gene that controls your body's growth factors. The most famous case of this condition is Joseph Merrick. This is the guy right here. He is known as the original Elephant Man. He became famous when he was seen in freak shows. Merrick was able to live with this condition for 27 years. Number 6, we have Progeria, also known as Hutchinson-Gilford Progeria syndrome, or HGPS for short. It's a very generic condition that causes the child's body to age fast. People who suffer from Progeria are said to age about 8 times the normal rate. With that being said, most people don't live past the age of 13 years old. There's a very famous girl who has Progeria. She is a YouTuber. Her name is Adalie Rose, and she's one of the most inspirational people ever.
Hey guys, it's me, Adalia. Welcome back to my channel. Today, I'm going to be doing things I do in my
She's pretty funny and she has such a big personality and such a positive look on life. Moving into number 5, here we have a girl who was born with 2 faces, and this was due to a very rare mutation. She suffers from craniofacial duplication, which is a rare congenital disorder in which part of the face is duplicated on the head. It doesn't seem like experts believe that this is due to an unborn twin, maybe a parasitic twin or something, because there are no additional bodies or anything else additional than just the face. This little girl was born to a very poor family who are farm laborers in a village in New Delhi. The little girl has an extra pair of eyes, nose, and lips. The girl is able to blink all of her eyes, and she can feed out of both mouths. I feel really bad for this family and of course this poor little girl. She has seen a doctor and they say that she's actually fine. She sleeps, eats, cries like a normal baby, which just sounds so insane to me. Next up, number 4, we have another very rare mutation of the hands and feet. Well, this right here is a picture of a 6-year-old boy from China. His name is Li Jinping, and he was born with 15 fingers and 16 toes, and as you can see on his hands, a lot of his fingers are actually fused together. The condition is known as polydactyly, which just means someone who is born with 1 or more extra fingers. Doctors at the Shanghai Hospital of China Medical University in Shenyang was able to successfully remove all of the additional fingers and toes in a surgical operation that lasted more than 5 hours. Moving into number 3, let's talk about hypertrichosis, aka the werewolf syndrome. This is real.
Today, Larry Gomez is a minor celebrity. He's made his appearance his trademark, and he's begun to feel comfortable in his skin.
This condition causes the human body to have an abnormal, amount of hair growth all over their body. Hypertrichosis can also be present at birth or even developed later in life. Julia Pastrana was one of the most famous people with this condition. Here she is right here, and she was a part of many freak shows and became famous in the 1800s. Scientists believe this is caused by mutation of the A22 band of chromosome 8, meaning that this may not be inherited through the genes. This could happen to anyone, but it's extremely rare. Alright, number 2, we have alien hand syndrome. That could be due to a mutation or something neurologically. Alien hand syndrome, I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard of this one. Well, it's when your limbs, they just start moving on their own. Like you would randomly just raise your hands up in the air, or you would pick up something and you didn't even tell your brain to do that. People who have alien hand syndrome, in which I can't believe that this is actually the name for it, like the scientific name for it, well, it mostly affects people's left hand. Well, that kind of sucks for me because I am left-handed. Right now, there is no cure for the alien hand syndrome. Finally, number 1, we have polychoria, aka double pupils. I don't know why I got freaked out when I was doing the research for this one. I was seeing all of these pictures. It's just not a normal thing. In fact, it's super rare. It's a pathological condition where one of the eyes have multiple pupil openings in the iris. Let me show you guys a few examples of people who have this condition and the way it can appear in someone's eyes. First up, we have this. Here we can see a double pupil, but it's kind of not even there. It's very small, and I'm not sure how much lighter objects that this person's able to see. I think it was taken before dilation, because take a look at this picture right here. This is the same eye. So when dilated, the pupil, it kind of looks normal. Here's another image of a double pupil. This one is more obvious, and here's what it looks like dilated. The pupil is absolutely massive. Well, there you guys have it. You made it to the end of this video. I just want to say thank you guys so much for watching. I was your host, Landon Dallasing, and I'll see you all in the next most amazing top 10 video. Epidermal dysplasia verticornis. I practice. Number 8, we have epidermal. She suffers from craniofacial facial hypertrichosis.